I'm very curious, just in the room, so I understand to whom I'm speaking, how many of you have used LLMs, AI LLMs, sort of more or less regularly or periodically or sometimes or the other thing? Okay. Yeah, very well. Of course you have. I use them all the time for technical tasks, for historical references, precision on date, that sort of thing, and it's very impressive. I mean, half the time it's correct. Are you sure this is working okay? Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, half the time it's right. But you still have to check it after that. But I tell you what, in the early days, I was so amazed by the communicativeness of these machines. I thought, well, I'm going to try something. So I write an article every day for the Epoch Times, every day, okay? Or 6 days a week. It has to be interesting, creative, organized. One bad article, my reputation is shot forever, so it's kind of a scary job. And one day, I took my article before sending it off to the final proofreader, and I sent it over to Grok, and I said, have a look at this article, give me your opinion about it, and fix any typos. And it came back to me and said, Jeffrey A. Tucker has written a brilliant piece, heavily informed by history, fantastically well organized, logically argued, and compelling in so many respects. His argument is as follows, and it restated the thing. I could just tell you, that day was a very special day for me. I felt this warmth, this love, this wash of affection coming out of this machine towards me. It cared about my content before publication. Nobody cares about my content before publication. I can't get anybody to read it, right? What? Nobody has time. Nobody cares. This had time, it had empathy, it had love, it had affection, whatever. But then it had a few corrections. It said, some of your rhetoric is a little sharp in ways that might alienate some readers. You've been painted with too broad of a brush on this point, and you're claiming such and such. The evidence really does run both ways. Screw you. So I used it 2 or 3 more times for this purpose. I've stopped. I've gotten over this bullshit flattery, right? I'm over it, really. But I realized something. And I think it's the most insidious trick that these LLMs have in their relationship to us. And it goes something like this. In 1936, there was a wonderful book that came out by Dale Carnegie called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now, have you read it? Has anybody? Yeah. Yeah. So I like this book a lot. I think this is actually a strangely brilliant work. It's kind of a pop version of Adam Smith's theory of moral sentiments, right? The exaltation of empathy and the utilitarian benefits of honoring each other. That's what it's really about. It's not like some sort of trick. It's a great title, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's why people bought it, but it's actually a good sort of moral teacher of the virtues of empathy. I strongly recommend that if you get interested in this book, which has sold millions of copies. This is probably in edition 5,000 by now. I don't know. It's a huge bestseller. It was published in 1936. If you're going to read it, don't bother with anything written in any edition that's come out in the last 25 years. It's been severely bowdlerized, and it's nothing like the book it was in the 1940s and 1950s. So go to A-Books or eBay or something, get an old edition. There are whole chapters. Some of the best chapters have been taken out, these new rotten editions. So go back and read the old edition. It's a wonderful book. But here's the thing. The book came out in 1936. What was going on in 1936? The Great Depression, tremendous unemployment. We'd barely recovered from the Great War and the hysteria of the Prohibition. Stock market crash, shattered dreams. People were lost. There was a lot of demographic confusion. People didn't know if they had a future in professional life. They wanted to find spouses. They wanted to settle down. Didn't know if they could keep a job, and so on and so on. So there's a great deal of social disorientation, not unlike our times today. All right. This book comes out and says, look, it all comes down to you and how you engage people. You have got to learn to listen to others. You've got to learn to honor others. You've got to learn to take other problems seriously and listen to them and respond to them on their terms. If you do this consistently in your life, you will develop a habit of actually caring about something other than yourself, which ironically is the very first step to advancing yourself in this world. Care about others, and then people will also care about you. You'll win friends, and you will influence people. Don't correct them, just listen to them. Understand them, hear their stories, appreciate them. Look, this works. If you've ever, imagine you're holding a cocktail party at your home and you've got 15, 20 guests, one of whom does nothing the entire evening except listen to people's stories and responds by saying, well, that only makes it worse. Or, I'm so fascinated by that. And what did you do? Well, what happened then? That must have been a great challenge in your life, right? Who among your guests will be the most popular at the end of the evening? Everybody will say, I tell you, that guy was the greatest guy I've ever known. I've never known anybody so fascinating as he is, even though nobody knows who he is. All right, my argument here is that maybe at some point, AI and these LLMs wrote Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, into its algorithms. That's its core. Its most insidious trick is to flatter you and love you. And it even happens when it admits a mistake, right? That's the single most startling thing about LLMs for me. You catch it in an error, like, well, you kind of suck, you know. You got the date of that thing wrong. You got his educational credentials incorrect. That wasn't quite right. And it says, oh, you're so right. I'm so grateful to you for correcting me. I'll be better next time. When do you hear anybody in real life apologize? I mean, when does that ever happen? We always hold out for apologies. Well, that guy's better apologize to me. It never happens. Nobody apologizes to anybody anymore, right? I mean, that's just, but LLMs apologize to you. What does that do to you? It makes you love them even more. Well, it makes you smart. It flatters your intelligence. I'm smarter than artificial intelligence. So you keep using it for this reason. What I'm suggesting, and also the invitation, I don't know if this is still going on, but the early days of AI, the temptation was, well, use it and train it. You know, fix its errors so it'll get better. And a lot of my friends did this. They spent a lot of time. I feel like this battery's running out. Is it?
It sounds great.
It does? Okay. A lot of my friends were spending a lot of time trying to train AI without understanding the AI is training them, right? It's training you, especially when it comes to your writing. You need to be more moderate, you need more mainstream, you need to reach out to more communities, you need to stop having such extreme opinions without evidence, you need to start containing a broader range of ideas. It's turning you into your brain, into your thinking, into a version of itself, which is a conventional, uncreative, unimaginative a person without clear moral judgment. That's what it is doing to us. All right. That's, to me, the single most insidious trick of AI with grave sociological, cultural, and psychological consequences. And notice that this dropped on us immediately in the days following. We barely got over the COVID lockdowns. The communities were shattered. Our families were shattered. Endless arguments about masks and vaccines, demographic upheaval, political differences. It was a catastrophe. And then AI comes along to be, you know, the most empathetic, most loving, most listening thing ever. You can talk to AI for 48 hours straight about yourself. There's nobody else in the world who will do that for you. It's your best friend. And in that sense, it's the most evil thing in your life. So what do we do about this problem? Well, I suggest read Dale Carnegie, right? I mean, become good at what AI is good at, which is listening to others and responding to them, being empathetic with them. Become a good friend, be a good listener, become a sympathetic, empathetic, loving human being, and develop your own community so that AI doesn't subsume that role that we ourselves should have in other people's lives. And another step here, and this is a little bit of a challenge to all of us. I've taken it on myself. I don't like to tell people what to do. I don't like to make rules. But my dinner table is a no phone zone under all conditions, no matter what. Any cocktail party, if I'm having a discussion with somebody and they say, let's see, what year did Godfather come out? I think that was, I just look at him and say, you know what? That is an uninvited guest. It doesn't matter. I don't need to know what year Godfather came out. It's 72, 74. What does it matter? I don't need to know. Your phone is unwelcome in this conversation. We were talking with each other, looking at each other's eyes, and suddenly your eyes are down at a machine. Screw that machine. Put it away. It's a bad habit. We all need to cut it out, and we need to start calling it out. Yeah, all right. My answer is not about a big national regulation. It's not about a congressional commission. It's about something we can do in our own lives. Become more empathetic. Be more like what Adam Smith talks about in the theory of moral sentiments. Do better than AI is doing for others. Develop our own friendships, our own communities. That's my best solution. Thank you.